Hey, things are changing at Fell in the Dash, and we are doing something that I didn't think we would ever do. And basically, we are adding a camper to the mix of what is going on with our biking channel. So we're going to have some different adventures. We are going on the road full time. And this is the first video in a series that will have campers in it. More importantly, it's a mod video. So even if you're not into some of the stuff we do, but you're interested in how to modify a travel trailer to put bikes inside instead of having them precariously perched on a yoke in front over the tanks, or hanging off the back just waiting for the welds to break so they can splatter all over the pavement or the people behind you, this might be for you. Let's take a look at it. The problem with taking bikes on the road is basically with a camper, everybody thinks that you're taking campground bikes. And nothing against campground bikes. I mean, campground bikes are basically great bikes. You can get around your campground. But you're not going to take a $4,000 or $5,000 e-bike out and put it on the back bumper. We did a lot of research on bike carriers, how to do things on the road with bikes, and came up with a couple really great explanations of why you should do better with carrying your bikes. So we kind of followed in that track when we were looking for a camper that we could modify to get into a spot where we could carry at least 2, perhaps 3, maybe even 4 if we're lucky, bikes just to get out on the road. And that way the bikes would always be inside, always secure. They'd be out of the weather, that type of thing. We could pull into a campground. We could decide to leave them in. We wouldn't have to augment things, you know. Basically, what we're doing is we're going to be traveling the country in this. Ta-da! So this is the IBEX 2022 19 MBH. And from when we were looking at campers around, we settled on this one. We didn't want to get a new unit. And so today, I'm going to take you through one of the reasons that we bought this unit. That was so we could take the bikes. And when we wanted to take the bikes, we wanted to have something to be able to work with that we could mod. So the concept, my friends, are that this bike is going to fit into that storage area right in there. So we have about less than 70 some inches with the planks in there now. So I believe if you were going to talk to a dealer about buying this thing, they're going to tell you a bike will fit in here. And I'm sure it will. I don't know what kind of bike fits in here, but yeah, this is why we're taking this out, because we've got usable space over there. And then we have, if you can see it, a light over there and USB. So that means we can charge Garmin's, we can charge headlights and stuff like that while we're going down the road. So that's another kind of cool thing about being able to do this with the IBEX trailer. Also, if you're wondering, and I know inquiring minds want to know, the IBEX is basically the sister to the No Boundaries. A No Boundaries 19 and this are basically the same trailer, different graphics. And we went with the IBEX because we had the potential to do this mod, and it's a new to us. So it's a 2022. So we bought this used from a dealership, and they had a really great price on it. It's in great shape. There's a few things we're going to have to do with it. We added some more solar, that type of thing, but that's not what this video about. This video is about making bikes fit in the back. Will it work? You're going to have to stay till the end. Okay, my friends, this is what we have. These are the insides of the bunks. So we also, this is bought used. So we also were the purveyors of a fine purple thing. Anyway, so this is what you've got up here. You've got a fixed mattress, or a fixed platform for a mattress. What we're going to do with this is we are going to use this for storage. Our hopes are we're going to roll this mattress up and keep it in the back there, and then put some storage totes here with some things like maybe our backpacks, maybe our bike clothes and helmets will live up here, but they'll be right here. Then in the lower bunk here, we have the same setup, but this hinges, and this little part here is what we're going to take out today. So as you can see, if you go way down here, hopefully the camera picks this up, but there's a storage spot under there for long items. This wall here is what we're going to take out. This is not structural. There is nothing to this camper area that is structural. We're going to take this out, and this is the place where we're going to put bikes. We've got about 74 inches from the back there to the very, very front here. And a bike is about 72 inches long. So we don't really know if we're going to have to take out and take the front tires off, put a mounting device in there. This is kind of part one too. And it doesn't mean it's going to be a separate video, but this is just the first step, is to take this out. We can size the bikes up, see what we can get in, what works, and then we can decide how we're going to mount these things on to the floor. So that's what we're doing now, and hopefully it's going to go well. If it's not, you're going to see that too. But yeah, so that's what we're doing today. And the bikes that I brought along for our little experiment here of walking outside in the sun and wind of the Midwest. But we've got these two right here. So we have a Turbo Vado, which is an e-bike, and then we've got Jen's 27.5 Plus, which is a hardtail Cannondale, and we like these. I've got a Jamis Renegade and a Jamis Dragon Slayer that we're going to try and bring out on the road, and we're going to do having, you know, bikes with us all the time, so that's going to be cool. This is where the bikes are going to go in at. So this little door here opens directly to that spot that we saw inside. So kind of give you the outside in look. This top bunk, that's what you're seeing there. It's in all the way around. Then this place with this guy is the part that folds up. So if you wanted to, you could probably, and sorry the camera is not picking this up as well as I'd hoped, but you could probably put one bike in here, and we're going to try that here in a minute. It has a locking mechanism up there, which unfortunately you need an extra hand for when you're trying to video this stuff yourself. The slanted parts right there and there are basically just covering up some wiring. So I already took a sneak peek in there to see what it was like. So we're just trying this for now. Just want to see how close we are. No modifications have been done. The trailer's still in its normal state, and that's where we're at. No bueno. So, as we thought, taking this out is really the way to go. Taking it out, putting in the bikes, probably with the front wheels off, is probably going to be the way we're going to get in there. This, for reference, is a medium size Turbo Vado SLQ5 IUD PMS something or other. But anyway, it's not that big a bike, is what I'm trying to get at. So if you wanted to, you know, get into a point where you've got a smaller bike, small frame bike, maybe to fit, kids' bikes would fit in there, I'm sure. So anyway, there you go. Kind of hard to take you along here, and hopefully we'll be able to get this in a real time where, you know, it doesn't look too crazy or anything. So basically, this curved piece and the curved piece that I pointed out below, pointed out in the earlier part, this one in the back is just protecting wires. This one, totally unknown. Don't know exactly what's going on here, but we are going to find out. So I noticed that these are not put in equally, meaning they're not straight. This one had the screw driven through it, so it ripped the material. And trailer construction. Yeah, it's what's for dinner. Okay, so there you have it. Got a nice straight line here. There's nothing going on. There's nothing specific to this one that is going, this is just our outside wall between the dinette. And here, I think we can actually take this board off too if we want to. And this is the fender well. So that's what's going on this side. We've got a, I don't know what this stuff's actually called. I'm sure it's got some sort of name in the camper world. But you can see that's probably the thickness of a clipboard. That's kind of what you got right there. So that's what we're doing with that. So that deal's like actually taken off, okay? Now we're going to go to the other side. And through the magic of editing, here we are. So we've got the other stuff to take out. Now, I did a little sneak preview here, and I know for a fact that this guy here is not in there. But this guy here is covering up a couple of, I guess you'd call it cords for the lights in the back. So, if anything, we want to try and keep this somewhat protected. And there you have that. So that's what we're looking at on this side. Once again, we got the board here that we could probably take off. It's kind of problem. I don't want to say problematic, but I mean, these holes are just, there's nothing sealing them up. This one goes down to the road. So probably going to want to put something here. And I've toyed around with putting some wrap or something around the actual wires. This is a side marker light here. This is the, and you can tell how well that thing was put in. This is a license plate holder, flux capacitor, you know, that type of thing. So anyway, but this is what we have now after just taking that little space out. We've gained quite a bit of real estate. And if I would have been smarter, I would have measured this before and measured it afterwards. But this, I think we're at the true 74 right now. We are 73 and a half. So we're flush to that end, coming all the way down here. We're flush there. That's 73 and a half. So you can see that there's a little indent into this area for the wheel well. So I'm sure we're going to be able to not have to worry about using that. Once again, I can probably take off this board here, and this board's about ready to fall off anyway. So, might as well take it off while we got the chance. All right, so sorry about the shaky camera. We have a piano hinge here after pulling out the mattress. So there's our little light, a little USB up here that goes right into the camper. And as every good YouTuber, you have an extra camera set up there. And then basically what we're going to do is we're going to take out this piece of wood right here, the piano hinge. What I'd really like to do is find out how this is affixed to the other side. And what I mean by that is, you know, did these screws go into that little half wall or not? I don't know, but we're about to find out. And I think you're going to go inside and take off that little guy right there, which is just a trim strip on the inside. Okay, so once again, here we are. We got this guy here. This is just a trim strip on the inside. And this should give us some look into how this is actually constructed. So as you can see, this little piece here, these curtains are really handy. So right here on our deconstruction, if you will, we've got this piece of wood here, and these screws seem to be going into this piece of wood right there. And again, if we go down here, and maybe the camera will show you here, but we just got that type of little support brace, and then you go right back to the end of the camper, and we'll find out in a minute if this is supported in any way, or if it's just screwed into the other part. So these are the guys we're taking off right there. There's a few of them. I expect to be here for a while. And yeah, pretty excited about that. So there are 25 of these. Oh joy. 25 of these rascals. And basically, so far I think all these are the same size too. I was worried that we'd have to separate this if we ever put it back together in some sort of fashion. And not so much worried about that now. Not so much worried about it at all now, because in the long run of things, if we were to lose these screws, I think there are self-tappers that are pretty much, I'm thinking, available at any hardware store. And if we really had to, we could, I'm sure, go to Elkhart to the hardware store and they'd have thousands of them. So if you know where trailers are made, you'll probably get that joke. Anyway, as you can see, this is just more tedious and time consuming than anything else. Don't want to be that one guy that strips out just that one thing. And again, I don't think it's a bad design. Don't get me wrong. I just think that it would be nice if manufacturers kept the bicyclists in mind, and think that not all these are campground bikes as far as that goes. So that's kind of where we're at. personally, I looked at a couple other trailers. One specifically that we did not buy, which is more budgetary than anything else, but Ember Trailers has a garage gear thing, which I think is really handy. It's so flexible. So my problem with bunks is, you know, if you're in the market for bunks, talk to you this way for a second. But if you're in the market for bunks, yeah, you got kids, okay? So the kids are going to grow because you've been feeding them every day or whatever the case may be. And you're going to outgrow this trailer or outgrow the sleeping situation or whatever the case is. So basically, what the folks over at Ember did was they took an area in the back of some of their models, which I can't tell you the names off the top of my head, that you can do basically whatever you want to. You can hang a hammock in it. You can put bikes in there. You can make an office, that type of thing. Really cool design. Just wish there was more availability from other trailer manufacturers to do that. And it's really a nice option, you know, when you're talking about the Ember stuff. So anyway, but again, sidebar, not what we're doing. Yeah, we're taking more screws out. God, this is fun. But we're almost done. Almost done. So these guys are you know what? I guess I was wrong with that. Here's the screws that are coming out of the piano hinge. These are the littler screws that we're holding together that little, those little trim pieces for the bar. So you've got a significant size difference there. So we will wind up keeping them separately. And this is somebody's job. Put all these screws in there. We're soon to find out, though, what the deal is on the thing. Bring you guys over here. We're down to the last 4. Thank goodness. And you know, what made me think about this, I will say this, is we went to the show out in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and we talked to a Forest River rep. And I shared with him because, you know, they want to hear from people. What are you looking for? You know, that type of thing. We can build something you're looking for. And I told him, which was our thing. We didn't, you know, we don't have, you know, kids, and we're not trying to, you know, we're not trying to tell them what to do, but, you know, we'd really like a trailer that had the ability to be modified or flexibility for people like ourselves that are putting together, you know, a rig to go out on a, you know, 2-year-long adventure, if not longer. And, you know, there's just not a lot of options. I mentioned the Ember one, and I know this is a mod video, but, you know, quite frankly, you know, this space in this trailer, which is the 19 MBH, and then the next couple sizes bigger, one of them has a straight in back door that you can push the bikes in through. And again, you know, you have this flippy flip thing that you can do with the bikes. So, or excuse me, with the bed. I think this is going to be a great solution for us. I just don't know. I'm kind of surprised that it's as difficult as it is. There's going to be as many steps in this as we're looking at right now. So anyway, enough of my rant. We'll get back to the project. Alrighty, so now we are past the, we got the hinge out. Now the hinge is still attached there. But in order to get this big piece of the bed out, we are going to have to run it into the camper. And then we're just going to pull it out through the door this way. So there'll be kind of an angle there. And it'll be great. I'm going to see if we can get an actual viewpoint of this without killing my GoPro. So, but you know, it's worth it, right? So we got that. Can we see a damn thing with that? Oh yeah, look at that. Freaking Steven Spielberg, watch out. Okay, so here we go. We're just taking this out. As you can see, the piano hinge is still on this side. And this we will keep, put in storage, all that good stuff. And there you have it. So we got that little edge that we're still going to need to take off. And that, as you remember from the other side, was where it connected in. So we've got that going on, and then we'll vacuum all this up when we're done. But I think it's going pretty well. I mean, it's just been a lot of screws. I mean, all we've done is done this with a screw gun. Number 2, I tried it with the number 1, but they're just too small. I think this next part might be a little tougher because there's more things going on here. There's staples and that sort of thing, but we've got a little pry bar and a hammer, and you know, do you really need much more in life? All right, people, so as we look here, if you notice this part here, which is the upright, this is just a little laminating piece, but it is underneath that trim piece. And that is the same thing on both sides. So we're going to take out the trim piece, which isn't really a trim piece. It was a support for the bottom of the bed. So we're going to take that out on both the front and back. And then we're going to take a look at how we should figure out getting in, or getting out, I should say, the little bed shelf. I'm trying to keep some of this stuff together because we're just going to put this in our storage shed. Why does one have to be so difficult? Yeah. None of these were put in straight, by the way, either. Just so no. Okay, probably gonna have to get a pliers or something, and then yeah, here we're at on this one. This one hasn't been doing too well anyway. It's kind of not hanging in there. Perfect. Put these guys back in there. Deal with the outlier. Outlier, I mean that guy right there. Don't know why. There's got to be one in each project. And so far, I will say, you know, we are still only dealing with basically a drill driver with a number 2 bit in it, for the most part, is doing 90% of the work. So that's where we're at now. Trying to figure out how we should go about. My goal with this is not to destroy any of this stuff. It's basically to just, you know, get this deconstructed so we can take this out and get bikes in here. So, you know, this is a delete, I guess, is the key phrase here. And there we go. So we got the top part here taken off. Oh, there's actually a support beam there. Amazing. No wonder it can support up to 300 pounds. Okay. Okay, so once again, this is where we're at, taking that long piece out, put a little bit into the main part of the coach, and then taking it out here and putting it in our lovely pile of stuff. We'll be going to the storage shed. So as we look at this, we are in the back side of this thing now, and yeah, we're screwed into the floor. We are screwed into the floor right here. And in that floor, basically, I believe if I look, there are probably, he says, probably screws on that other side, but I don't know. So we're gonna take and give it our best shot here at taking out these images right there. These screws, they aren't images. I know, we're all shocked. Look at these. These guys are Phillips. They're not into anything particularly. You know, there's no rhyme or reason. That one's in the middle. That one's kind of in the edge. We've got 3 back here. So 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, interesting. Very interesting. Still not so sure we can't do some prying here on this to get these 2 pieces to separate. But yeah, in the meantime, we're going to see how this works out. I'm going to get in there and see what we're actually up against. You know, the problem with any of these things are, as you've noticed if you've ever watched, you know, anybody take anything apart, whether it's kitchen cabinets, you know, whatever. The problem is, you know, all this stuff was put in, you know, in this case, a few years back. And, you know, it's kind of rusted in, you know, as far as, I know it's wood, but we're kind of in that it's rusted in stage. And right now, I mean, when we're looking at this thing, we still have the trusty hammer, just in case. But basically, you know, this guy is not helping out. We're going to move from that one, which is the drill driver, to just an impact and see if we can back these things out any more, you know, comfortable with this guy. So that's where we're at. I want to take these out without stripping them. And the right tool for the job, wiener, chicken dinner. So there you go. There's our guy. Got the empty and backed it right out. So, my God, they've got 3 different sizes of screws now. That hardware store in Elkhart must be very, very busy. You know, I was thinking that's a screw, but I think that's just a knot. And that's definitely a screw. So, yeah. One of the things, you know, when you look at this, let's see where we're at here. But when you look at that, I mean, we're not too bad on, get this to focus. We haven't rounded it out too much, but that's the longest of the screw. You know, it's got this little button head on it, rounded head. So I think we'll do pretty good if we ever need to go out and get another batch of those in the near future. So once again, taking the impact and pulling them right out. The way some of these are buried in here, I mean, they didn't really stop at the top, if you will. And I don't even know if there's one in there. Yeah, I can hear it. Well. I know. Get in Milwaukee. That'll solve your problems. It's kind of funny because we've done a lot of home renovation, that type of thing. And these Ryobis have been great for us. We are on the yeah, so there you go. Good example of how to screw stuff in at an angle. Perfect. Anyway, these Ryobis have done really well for us. Did get some Milwaukee stuff recently. Basically for the lug nuts on the truck. And yeah, don't know why we need 6 screws on this thing, but we're gonna figure it out soon. Pain in the butt. Okay, before we have to censor myself here. So under here, in the area down along that wall, there are screws that are this size. So they're the longer ones as well. And they go into the bathroom wall. And I think what I'm going to wind up having to do is take this trim piece off and then reaching through this way to get that off. That's my best guess right now. And again, there's a couple of them that are just totally screwed up with being put in and buried into the wood, you know, angles wise, and you know, that type of thing. So we're good. So as you can tell, I have skillfully knocked this piece out, and I'm going to send that on down the line. And then I think we can see the underneath part of the table here. Not necessarily table, but what we're trying to take out. And that is still screwed in with the one screw on the bottom. We have some other screws on the top here that are being less than cooperative. And yeah, so have the old soap trick here too, where we throw some soap back there and keep the mice away. So that is what's going on at that point in time. I'm pretty sure that some people get paid by the staple to put this stuff together. So here we have, I think you can kind of see it right up in this top part. We have a screw here. We have a screw here. A screw here. A screw here. So once again, very inconsistent on where the screws are, but you know, they're in there. And we'll see how easy they come out. Like this guy right here. Seemingly pretty well on that. So yeah, cool. And again, I'm not ditching on IBEX for quality or anything, but just trying to figure out why. I've got no screws. No screws in some, 2 screws in others. Just doesn't seem that intuitive to me. Also, you know, the day that I think I don't need to bring an extension or anything. But yeah. And the fact that these are buried in. I mean, I'm not a construction guy by trade, but I thought you weren't supposed to bury these. Okay. That is definitely putting up a fight. Nothing in the back here on this side. Nothing in the back, which would be the that area from the back wall of the trailer. Nothing in there. So just the one screw there, the one that's not doing well getting out. And then we've still got these two, I think two, that are buried into the floor. So that's kind of where we're at on this now. And maybe we've got some room freed up. We can get a better angle, get in here and get this out. Because it does seem like we are definitely making headway here. Haven't heard anything fall apart in the other room, so who knows? Maybe we're good. Definitely a lot more difficult than I thought, but the payoff, I believe, is going to be well here. So might have to do some stapling on panels, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at now. Just talking into a crooked camera. Alrighty, so this is what we have now that we've taken that bunk out. So as you can see, there's a lot of good floor space here, And basically, now that we've got this unhinged, so to speak, deleted, as the kids say, we have about 43.5 inches to the inside rail here. So, you know, we got the opportunity. I'm going to clean this up. We're going to try and stick a bike in here and see what we have. Okay, as you can see, definitely got enough room. Can you see? Maybe, maybe not. But we got enough room for a bike, which is the key. Now we just need to know how to get them mounted in here. So that is a good thing. All right, so as we look at this thing right here, we can see that it's going to impede the door on the bathroom. And yeah, so we don't want that to happen. But on the other hand, got quite a bit of room there. If the bike was upright, that would not be the case. And then, of course, you know, if the bike was setting the other way, that might also not be the case. So if we take the wheels off the bottom, front fork, you know, we put a mounting strip in there. We could run these in there. There's also a possibility of running them the other way. I just put this in this way just to see, you know, test proof of concept, I guess. You know, will this actually work? So anyway, that's what we got. Now, as I said before, this is, you know, the first attempt at doing this. So we've got basically the next phase is to go through and get the, I guess, mounting part down. There's all sorts of things. Saris makes a mount that just fits flat. You can put those wheel, I guess you'd call them wheel locks on. They're basically when you take the thing out, basically, when you take the wheel out, then you have something for a through axle or a skewer that attaches it right to the floor. So we might be able to do something like that. This is the toughest part, I think. And maybe it's not. Maybe the toughest part is actually trying to figure out how the bike configuration is going to go in there. So that could also be it as well. Anyway, so this part, so far so good. And we've got this pile of stuff out there that we're going to have to take to the storage shed and, you know, get that all set aside. So not too bad for the first part, I don't think. Second part, basically, you know, in a nutshell, is going to be mounting and figuring out how those bikes are going to work into that area. All right, so here we are a few days later, and we're trying different things to get in the space here with the bikes. So this is a prefabbed, you know, you can buy these anywhere, Feedback Sports Scorpion stands that work great for the mountain bikes. However, they don't really work for the road bikes. Now these are 27.5 pluses. We've got a purple one, that's Cannondale, and this Jamis Renegade. And, you know, it would work. We've had these in a van before, and they didn't tip over. They've got a fairly sturdy base. I would want to attach the tire to something just to make that, you know, more stable. So that's one idea we had. The trays from the rooftop rack, it did not work. They were just too hard to get the bike attached. We don't have that much room fore and aft on the track with the wheels to get them in, and we still have to go through the little curtain there on the main galley to come in and get that in there. So basically what we're deciding now is this. We're going to put some wood down here, and the wood is going to have basically one of these type stands that we got from Amazon on it, and those will be zip tied into the wood. We're going to drill some holes and see how it goes, basically. So that's going to have one that will be facing towards the front and the other one that will be facing to the back. So more than likely, the bike that will be facing to the back of the trailer will be the one that has the curtains. That way, we will have nothing poking out. You can open the door to the bathroom and that type of thing. So that's where we're at there. Other than that, you know, we're going to give it a mock-up try here, and I'll show you what we're doing. So once again, here's our blank canvas. You know, we've got some wires here that we have to kind of protect. Probably going to wrap those. Also, we have a doggo that was supervising today, and she's not quite sure what to think about the camper life. Anyway, so in this whole space, we're trying to get 2 bikes in, perhaps 1 dog. But the deal is, you know, I don't want to drill into this floor. I don't want to, you know, really drill into it. There are places where the previous wall was attached for the bunk, and I wouldn't mind going in there. That's probably a pretty solid guess if I had to. But anyway, we're going to put a sheet down here with some 3/4 inch material we had at the house, and I put some stain over it just to protect it. And it's just the Minwax, I think it's Mariner or something like that. Put a little picture of the bottle in there. It's supposed to be good for indoor and outdoor. So that's what we're doing next. So here we've got the basic concept. We've got that Amazon find for the, I guess you'd call it the front wheel bracket. And that would be basically where we're at. As you can see, this goes into the hallway here, and that's not going to fly, so we probably just cut it right across here at an angle, and that will still leave enough room for the tire to be in this area here from this bike. So the interior bike would be the one that would go in back, and that has drop bars on it, by the way. It's just not here right now. So we're just going to use the e-bike to see how far we can get, or how close we can get to this wall with the e-bike. And then going to mark some stuff out. We're going to drill some holes, cut some stuff, and yeah, hopefully you will see some progress. One of the features, the reason we chose this apparatus here is this has a little brake, I guess, pincher that's going to adjust to different sizes of wheels. And of course, you know, I was originally wanting to get something that I could set it and forget it and put 2 bikes in here. And then the 2 bikes we're going to take with us out on the road would go in there, just in regular wheel off type situations. Not that it was an ideal setup, but we decided to not have to deal with taking the wheels on and off. We're still in that mindset. We've got 4 of these types of little holders, and we're thinking we're going to try these in the truck as well. So again, those are from Amazon. I will put a link in the description. They're not sponsored, all that good gobbledygook, but it's just something we found that I think is going to work. And also I noticed that if we needed to do any padding, we could take like a pool noodle or something like that and put it around there and get it. And then simply what my idea is on this side, when we actually get to the point where we know where this is going to be, I'm going to make a couple marks here and then just drill down a hole on the inside and wrap it around the bottom here. And then that would be the zip tie that would hold on each corner. So I'll probably put 2 zip ties per, and then just have them on there. That way, if we do have to move them around, now we find something different, switch out bikes or whatever, we'll still be able to keep the big pieces. And once again, this is just 3/4 inch plywood that we had left over from our kitchen remodel. Had to think about that for a minute. And yeah, that's what's happening there. So basically, kitchen remodel, some scraps, no cost there. Had some leftover stain just to seal them up, so we wouldn't get any splinters, that type of thing. And you know, if we do put them in and they're wet or whatever, kind of protected. This is obviously a vinyl floor right here, so no problems there. But as you can tell, you know, here's the 30-some inch wide handlebars here, and then much narrower handlebars on the Specialized e-bike. So, you know, there's not only the drop bar bikes and the mountain bikes with the wider handlebars, you know, we've got a lot of moving pieces to try and fit into this one area. I will say, you know, if anybody from the camper world is listening, this door right here would be great if it was bigger. It would totally be good if it was bigger. And then, you know, I know we're just bicyclists and there's only a few 100,000 of us, but, you know, maybe make the door, when you say it's a bike door, make sure a bike fits in it. Just a tip from a guy that has a YouTube channel. Anyway, moving along. Okay, so this is what we have with the bike in question. So right now, if you look at the distance, I'm going to try and line it up here. Here's my hand. There, for a sense of scale, there's the side of the camper. So we should be able to close this door and have that thing clear. I also don't want it to, you know, go down the road and, you know, rip up the door. As far as that goes, you know, we got a screen back here and all that sort of thing. So anyway, is this easy? No. Would it be easier if we took the wheels off? Perhaps. Right now, we've got plenty of room on the back end. Fender is not touching back here at all. There's a inch or so of room. This top part here is touching, but as you can see right now, it's laying off of the actual piece of wood. Back here, we got plenty of room for that thing to go on. So if we try not to kill the GoPro, so basically what I can do is I can pull this back to where we're there. Now we're on the top of that. That's not rubbing. And the fender isn't really rubbing. It's maybe rubbing a little bit. We could put this board a tad bit forward. Right now, it's kind of pinched on the corner of the bathroom door. And that's in that area. Right. That's in that area right there. So there's just a little piece of trim there. And that is the situation. So, you know, to get it to door's going to shut. And then back here, the plan is to basically cut a slit, run a piece of Velcro underneath, and then just have that clamped down, just like it would similarly be in a bike, you know, trough on the back of the back of your car, truck, whatever. And I think that's where we're going to rest for here. The other thing I like about this is there is that USB type thing up there. So we could charge our Garmins and that sort of thing. We might even be able to hang helmets on that wall, or this wall for that matter. So anyway, this is where we're going on this, and we're waiting for the other bike to get here. And when it gets here, which will be just in a few minutes for you guys, we're going to throw it in there and see what we got. All right, so inside, as you can see, the bikes are comfortably nestled in there. We've still got a little space overhang here from the piece of 3/4 inch plywood we put in there, and it kind of comes out awkwardly to the door to the bathroom. So we're going to cut that off. And keeping with the bike theme, we're going to use a feedback tool for the basically you keep the when you keep your handlebars straight on the bike stand. So I'm going to make a line here just kind of where we want it, and then we're going to go out and chop it off and see how this all works here. Put you guys over there, just kind of guesstimating the line here of the angle that we're going to want. And that seems pretty straightforward. So on each one of these bike wheels in the back here, we're going to give you a little bit better view there. We're going to take and mark in this area a couple dots. And I just want those to be basically on a area that I can run a Velcro or something to keep the tire from going around as far as that goes. So we're going to keep a couple of these, thinking one right about here and one right about there. I'm going to extend these over to the other side, which you can't see because, you know, why would you want to see everything behind the curtain? We're going to drill out these holes and router in between them, so then I can put some sort of Velcro in there. The other thing we're going to do with our Velcro is a little better camera angle. So here we're going to mark two spots over on this side where we're just going to drill a hole for our stuff to go through. So we basically just want to mark these and get that going. So we'll be drilling the holes in this thing, going down. It'll wrap over the ends with the I guess you're just going to call them wire ties, zip ties, whatever you call them in your part of the country. They're going to hold this assembly down right there to the board. Same thing's going to happen on the other one. Going to mark a couple of spots in that, and then we'll be able to pull this apart, get this line here cut out, as well as the marks for the back of the bike. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Okay, starting here, what we are going to do is mark here on the sides where we're going to drill the holes for both the front and the back to put those zip ties through. And they don't have to be any in special order. Just going to try and make it as good as possible for the sturdiness, I guess you'd call it. And then once again, I'm going to put a couple spots back here to know where to drill through. And with that, that's going to be where the Velcro would go through. And, you know, pretty much your basis of like these are really close to the sides, so they're not going to wiggle around that much. Basically over here, we're going to make a couple marks there, probably off camera, just because it's hard to get in here, and I'm going to hopefully get these things knocked out today. But this is basically what we've got. We've got the two bikes, and the two bikes are in there. They'll be supported on these front tire holders from Amazon, and I will put a link in the description for those. Some basic Velcro. This is 3/4 inch plywood we had left over with some helmsman stain on it just to protect it. And yeah, so that's what the two bikes look like. Then we'll still have room for helmets maybe hanging there, or maybe something in the back, and you know, we'll have some gear storage back here as well. So the bikes, like I said, I wish that they would have been able to come out this door, but they've got to go in through the kitchen area there, back out. We've noticed that the one that's farther away from me is easier just to take out the front door, just rolling it down the alleyway and out the front door. So that's what's going on there with the bikes. Modification of the 2022 MBH 19 IBEX travel trailer. Probably would work maybe in another application for you with another travel trailer, but that is what we got going on now. Okay, so that's where the project ends. We've got the bikes in the back right over here. They're gonna have everything going down the road, probably as stable as they could be, probably much more stable than the driver will be, but they're gonna rest back here. Extra gear, extra stuff will be back here as well, and we will see how this works. Probably gonna have to modify it, I'm thinking, at some point in time, but we'll give you a review on that. And this is how it went down with the IBEX 19 MBH, modifying the back. Took out all the bottom bunk. We've still got the top bunk right up here for storage, and we'll be doing pretty good, I think, with it. I mean, I really like it. We're still gonna be putting the other two bikes in the truck. Although all the bikes would fit in this space, you can't get them moved in and out of the space, which is very important to notice. So basically, that's what we got going on with this. And hopefully, if you like this type of content and you found this to be good, I'd like to see a like and some comments down there. If you have any ideas on how we could make this possibly better, that'd be fantastic too. But that's it for this one, and we'll see you in the one down the road. And until then, get out there and take care of your dash. We'll see you in the next one.